It is the 8th of December 1939. An ultimatum has been sent to Lithuania and Latvia, and soon will be sent to Estonia as well, to pick their sides, because they can either join in with the rest of the world or they can become communist, as they should. So workers will be liberated, and we will see to that. In the meantime, we have stationed a couple of troops along their borders, just in case they get any funny ideas. And we are working to secure Leningrad, which, if the Finns will accept, should yield the district of Karelia to us. But if they do not, then we have stationed our trusty light tank units that have already been fighting in the Spanish Civil War at their borders. And the general plan is to pretty much hold them in the north, because our supply situation in the north is not great. We've got effectively 3 supply hubs here, and there's not an awful lot of supply around. So once we bring the troops to the borders, then they will no longer actually have any supply. But the Finns don't have either, because there is not an awful lot of supply around in Finland. There's the port up in the north, and then the next supply hubs are more around the coastline towards the Baltics and the southern area. So the plan is to hold them in the north and to bind their troops in the snow while the tanks are moving through the southern forests and plains, capture Helsinki, and we will then try to allocate an airfield there. Which reminds me, we are going to need an air force over there. So let's see what we can find. We've got 3 fighter wings here that are to a degree trained, so we can already move them over to Leningrad. And I think we should have somewhere we should have a close air support. Yes, we've got a close air support wing here that can move already to Leningrad, and that actually needs to train up still. We'll do the same with the fighters. They can go and do some exercises. The problems with the Soviet Air Force, this I think were strategic, yeah, strategic bomber. The problems with the Soviet Air Force obviously are, well, those. Our pilots tend to crash when they're getting in the air without much of an enemy involvement, so that generally doesn't work out very well, which reminds me, we are going to need better planes. So we are currently running an operation to steal aviation industry blueprints from the Germans. Hopefully that will be successful. But we are working already on the improved small airframe, just independently of that. And once that is complete, then we can start especially fighter production. Maybe we get some reconnaissance going as well. But I'm mainly interested in better engines, fighters. We will fighters, close air support. We will probably get some interceptors going, so we might need the medium airframe at some point as well. But yeah, there are a lot of things that we need to do, and we will also need the 1940 medium tanks. So once secure Leningrad is done, I am not actually going to go for Bessarabia just yet, but we are going to go down the path. Where was it? Yeah, so we're going to need the People's Commissariat of Defense Industry, and then the People's Commissariat of Mechanical Engineering, and that gets us to Superior War Machines, which gives us armor technology research bonuses and the T-34 medium tank. Once we have, and it reduces the cost for the tank designer, which means we can. The next thing we're going to have to do is increase our conscription law, unfortunately, because we are running a little low here. But I would like to have if possible, I would like to have an aircraft designer. To get an aircraft designer, and I'm probably going to go with the MiG Design Bureau, just for the fighter agility and the. We're not really going to have a lot of tactical bombers and heavy fighters. We're not definitely doing nothing with the naval aircraft, and Tupolev would be for strategic bombing. So MiG is going to be. So I'd like to get that in before we start creating the variants for the new aircraft. We're also going to need a tank designer, but like I said, there was a there was going to be a bonus that we can get. And I would like to get Zhukov in as a mass assault expert for the doctrine cost, the reduced doctrine cost. Unfortunately, that is locked behind, I believe, positive heroism over here. Was it this one? This gives us, yeah, this gives us both Rokossovsky as an armor genius and Zhukov for the doctrine. So I'd like to pick that up at some point. And yes, obviously we still need to, we haven't really done an awful lot. This would be really, really good, but it's a 70-day focus that we don't have time for right now. We obviously need to do the mobilization plan, which is going to give us 3%. Actually, we might just do that instead of using the political power for the conscription law. So that could be something, but rehabilitated military is quite important because that's starting to work. And then lessons of war, obviously, but that will... I think that's actually... Yeah, that's going to need... Yeah, desperate measures is going to need us to be at war with a major country, and we need desperate measures and rehabilitated military to get to lessons of war. So there's a fair amount of stuff that we need to do. Until then, we are going to have to live with the relatively severe debuffs from the Red Army, which costs 15% organization and 10% experience gain. So yeah, a couple of things. But the Air Force is even worse off. So right now we're still building prototypes, but I would love to get to the I think Yak, I'm gonna have to look it up. Yak 3s, I think, were the first fighter models that we're going to be doing, and then the obviously the IL-2, the Stormovik, as Klaus air supports. That's also important. We are running out of tungsten. Yes, I realize that. And we need to get off the trade laws as well, because we are, in terms of research, we are having a two-year research bonus. The tricky bit is that 2-year research bonus is for any industry tech, so I can't pick these up because that would mean I'll be wasting the research bonus. So I need to wait until which one's going to finish first. Concentrated 4 is going to be finishing first. So after concentrated 4 is finished, I'm going to go into concentrated 5, which I will then use the 100% bonus that I have plus the 2-year ahead of time, which should get us there quite quickly, which will maximize the factory output that we're having. And then we may rush construction 5. Or maybe we'll just focus on these first, and we've got some fuel techs to do as well. So there's definitely some industry techs that we need, but we also need to make our way towards the 45mm anti-tank cannons, because right now our anti-tank cannons are 37 mils, and that might work against Panzer IIs, but then anything bigger than that is not really going to. And getting slightly better anti-aircraft guns is not a bad thing either. And yes, we've got research to do. We do need to get the logistics companies, but at least we're starting to build railway guns. Although I'm not sure when the first one is going to be in. Did we get one already? No. So the next one is going to be finished in, because we are lacking tungsten. Is going to be finished in August next year. But we will deal with the tungsten situation as we can. We can take a quick look if there is anything else that we want to, where we want to increase the infrastructure, because I think there are a couple of areas here. So we've got a couple of areas here around Moscow that we can build up. So at the Polish border, I am actually thinking, because one problem that we're having is that the Poles are a bit uppity. And while we are on liberated workers, it seems they're not particularly happy about being liberated. So my thinking here is to build our defensive positions behind the Polish border, and basically leave that territory, if it comes to blows with the Germans, leave that territory to them. because I don't think we're getting an awful lot, honestly. Where's the resource? Yeah, there are no resources, and I think what we get from the occupied territory in Poland is yeah, absolutely no resources, and we get 2 factories out of that, and we're probably losing more in equipment than we are actually gaining from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that field marshal order here. There we go. And actually start organizing our troops in a more defensive manner. So we've got... we actually need to start organizing these as well. So this is going to be the first army under Vlasov. And then we've got the second army. I'm going to cut this out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've organized this a little bit. We've got the Army Group West, which currently contains First Army, the Second Army, the Third Army, which needs to exercise, and the Fourth Army, as well as the Mountain Corps. We've got the Army Group North, which currently runs the First Motorized under Zhukov, and the Fifth Army, as well as the Sixth Army, which is currently being filled. And we've got the militia, which contains the NKVD militia as well as the NKVD border patrol. In the Asian theater, we have the Army Group Pacific, which just contains of the 7th Army, which, by the way, needs to change into regular infantry, please. And these guys actually need to exercise as well. All right. As I mentioned before, we will be slowly starting to add guards divisions as they become available, such that we have probably about 6 to 8 guards divisions per army. The guards divisions are quite a little bit more powerful. So they currently have line anti-tank as well as two line artillery. They are a little bit larger, and I'm still planning to make them larger. These are guards rifles divisions currently, and the purpose is to just have some more powerful divisions, whereas the regular rifle divisions are just you know, standard infantry sort of things for defensive purposes. All right, so I will start and reorganize these guys a little bit. In fact, we have the 4th Army currently stationed around Latvia. Where do I have the 5th Army right now? Oh yeah, I had these in the south here, and this was terrible in any case because of so the supply situation. So I don't think I'll necessarily be holding these positions. Let's move that all back to normal, because we don't get enough supply in the south here, and we'll just move the Mountain Corps for now towards the north here, even though there aren't any mountains, but just in case any of these people don't see the wisdom in becoming part of the Communist Empire, or the World Communist Revolution, let's put it that way. So Vlasov's first army can, let's see, where exactly does Poland end here? So we probably this is some forest. We'll probably get Vlasov to hold the front line here. So just for now, we're going to get him a front line basically along this line, more or less here in the forest there. So he can. That is going to be sort of our first line of defense. I can put him a little bit further, I guess. So okay, hang on. Let's put him just where what's the supply situation down here? Dreadful. So, but we could get him to guard. Where's the fallback lines? We can get him to guard the sort of this line here, and this is mostly forested, so we should be able to somewhat hold it at least. There's a little salient, unless these guys join, and then in which case it gets a different story altogether. The second army is probably going to be our more powerful one right now. So right now we're having these on the border here, which is okay. They can hold that for now. Then we've got the third, and these guys are currently just dispatched here. So in terms of fallback, like where are we going to make our stands? This might work relatively well along the river line here between Kiev and the north, but we will see. Ideally, I will try to hold a little bit closer to home. So let's get these guys. Let's get these guys into a line around just as a second defense line here. And then the 4th Army is currently busy with other things, and the 5th Army is up north deployed against Finland. The 7th Army is in no position to do anything just yet, but we can already get the 7th, start deploying the 7th along a fallback line here, just along the river line, such that if we do need to retreat, we have some. Probably would want to maintain Kiev if possible, and probably maintain the south here as well. So let's get the 7th Army, the 6th Army, sorry, let's get the 6th Army already deployed here, and we are still training up a couple more regular divisions. We are training up an armored division. What's it looking like? I think we can schedule another one by now, and that will get some A20 tanks. I also do have KV-1s by now, I believe. Yeah, we've got 69 heavy tanks. So we can actually design ourselves a heavy tank division already. So I'm gonna duplicate this one. And now I just have to look up what this is called. I'll be right back. And it shall be the Tiasilaya Tankovaya Divizia. And there needs to be a space in between. And that literally just means heavy tank division. And we're gonna give that. Do we have anything good here? It's not a guards tanks. It's just a regular tank division for now. And yes, we do need to change all these things into heavy tanks. Although actually, I might hang on. I might leave this as a combination, because the early Soviet division designs is not ideal, but I don't know how many heavy tanks we're actually going to get. How many does that need? Heavy tanks 160. Yeah, that's okay. See, I think the early Soviet designs were mixed divisions between heavy tanks and medium tanks, as well as some light tanks in there as well. But we'll design it like this for now. And that is a 30 org. We get 50 armor out of this, which isn't great, but it's a start. And this would be sort of the infantry tank division of sorts. And they should just be... I think we can just get the... can we just get the default symbol? This should be... Yeah, this is the heavy tank symbol now. Okay. Yep. Not the best division, not the most effective division, but we'll take them for now. And we will train one here just to have one. And we will the war will tell how things are going. Also, we might need a couple more. How many we got? 7 right now. I'm going to queue up another 10 or another 7, so we get 10 queued up. We're still short on infantry equipment, but hopefully our increased factory output. How far are we away? We should be. Oh no, sorry, we see that here. 2 years, pretty much. But garrisons are starting to eat into our infantry equipment, which reminds me, I need to check that the NKVD divisions are not using. Yeah, they're not using modern equipment, so that's okay. Yep. All right, so we've got that organized. We're working on securing Leningrad, and we're preparing our defenses, like layered defenses if necessary, against a potential German incursion. We don't trust them, the Germans, but given that Finland is now causing us concern here, and we need to secure Leningrad, it is a good time to set the 5th Army actually onto a... we don't need the full length because this is a lake, so they can't get through there anyway. So we're just gonna go from there all the way up to the north, and potentially launch an offensive, but only it's tentative. The main thrust will go through the south. Anyway, let's keep going. I think the next big event is going to be for us to send the ultimatum to Estonia and see if what these guys are going to do. So these should be having some, if they are joining us, that would be a decent amount of factories. I mean, obviously not instantly, but right now we're sitting on 156 factories, 134 owned, and we are building... Oh yeah, I wanted to queue up some more construction. So we said around Moscow, that would be around here-ish. That's where we want to build up, because we've got some areas here with relatively high factory count, so it's worth actually queuing up some things here. So we will be doing both. I will not be building infrastructure just yet. Sorry, but we will be queuing up a mix of civilian factories and military factories, and then make sure that we have enough of all of them. There we go. And yes, we will still build more in the east. So here is a good area, and just generally things that have mining are going to help. There are mining decisions, but I need to do the excavation research, the excavation text to unlock these. So this, for example, tungsten would need excavation 3, which we could do first, because we've already rushed the construction tree. So that would be, they're all taking the same time. So we can do excavation 3 first to get the tungsten out. And also we need to get off the free trade, because right now it has impact on our already on our heavy tank production. So that is not good. We need that to be improved. And the very first thing we'll do, what did I say? The aircraft designer is going to be the very next thing that we're going to be doing. So, all right, let's go, because we can get a car. Oh, we are actually running really low on manpower. That's fine. We can get more manpower simply by making decisions. Leningrad. Hang on, where was it? Not Leningrad. Estonia. Okay, let's send the ultimatum to Estonia. So that's done. China has just cancelled their non-aggression pact. Okay. So China, after we've sent you planes and after we've given you support, well, we haven't really officially, but we've done unofficially, you decide that you would like to no longer have an aggression pact. You know, I think the communist China here is much more worthy of our support against the Japanese aggression, to be honest. If they decide that they no longer would like to have a non-aggression pact, that, by the way, is all the way over here. Threat from the land of the rising sun and 2 red flags, which is 2 35-day focuses. So that might be something we could do, but we could send volunteers to communist China, but not right now. I'm busy. First up, we'll be probably getting into a little kerfuffle with Finland once they are, if they decide to not play ball. But for now, we're also waiting for the, where is it? Okay, Lithuania has submitted, and we will save them from capitalism. So that's ours now, and we'll see what Latvia does. Latvia submits. You are socialists now as well. And that just leaves Estonia, and in 4 days we'll see about that as well, which means we are going to need to... Well, how did our factory count? Yeah, we got a couple of factories out of that, but now obviously we have more occupied territory. So we'll do the whole liberated worker thing here as well. Poland is already very upset, but the resistance targets here are much lower. So the Poles, not so good, but these guys are less of a problem. Now the interesting question is, if we were to... there are a couple of factories and dockyards here, especially in this area, that I don't necessarily want the Germans to have in case Germany kicks anything off. So we probably want to use the newly freed up... first of all, the NKVD forces can go somewhere else. They can join the tank divisions and help. We'll give them a front line here, and they can help just spread out over the territory. They're technically sort of police/militia, but they should be good enough to just hold territory while the tanks are clearing everything up. The mountain divisions don't need to be sitting up north here. We will probably send them to a defensive line in the south here just for now until we actually need them. And we give them the... No, I would like all of them. Mountain divisions. All please assign here. That means we no longer need that front line. And we have divisions here from the 4th Army, which can now sort of hold the northern lines in case of any kind of injunction. So we will probably position behind the river line here just for now, and that'll be part of that defensive organization. Okay, let's see what Estonia is doing and what the Finns are doing as well. But we're still on our way to securing Leningrad. How far are we from research? 69 days. Is there anything in the that I need here actually? I could already take the static warfare, just such that the divisions that are currently at the border with Finland get better entrenchment. That might be worth doing. So their entrenchment right now is at 27%. If I'm going to take static warfare, once we get into the offensive, we could go with operational reserves or flexible org probably. But for defensive purposes, static warfare is I think what I'm going to take. We do have a guards division, so we're going to start filling this one up, which means it'll yield some divisions over here. And then we've got some regular divisions, they can go there. So maybe I can already just get these assigned. Yep. So we'd only need to shuffle the guards divisions around. Okay. And yeah, make sure that please that everybody is training if they need to. And you as well. Okay. And Estonia has submitted. Welcome to the Union, comrades. So there we go. We've got a couple new lines, which also means that these guys now need to include... No, not fallback lines. These guys need to include the ports here in the north from a potential naval invasion. So we've got enough divisions to make that happen. So we'll hold that for now, but we will see how things develop. Okay. Everything reorganized, and now we're just trying to save up some political power. We're at 90% stability, so our political power gain is increased, and we're getting more and more divisions. Okay, 2 more guards divisions can go here. That means we send 2 other divisions over there. And now they are at 4. Okay. All right. And I think I'll let it go and see if the Finns have anything good to say. But yeah, yeah, it will be very costly to start the propaganda right now. We don't really need that. This would give us 1 tungsten, so it's really not worth, I think. Any controlled state... Oh no, sorry. At increased metals production, which grants +1 for each state producing any of these resources. Okay, so that would actually give us a bit of tungsten. But maybe we'll... No, I need this political power at the moment. Yes, we have resistance. That's probably in Poland. Yes, we are starting to see organized resistance in Poland. And I think we need to get off the liberated workers here. Liberating the Polish workers has not worked. So I think I'm gonna go into this would reduce the compliance gain significantly, but I think the Poles are not going to comply anyway. So this will give us a decent boost. We can either declare martial law, or we're going to go with a military governor. I think we're going to go with a military governor for now. That will, or we could go with local police force, which reduces the garrison requirements, which should also help. But the resistance reduction isn't great. Okay, no, we'll go with the military governor, and that means the resistance targets are significantly lower now. And hopefully this organized resistance is going to be quelled in Poland. And we are starting to have free military factories, which is great. What are we going to need more of? Medium tanks. So those guys we need more of. And what else? Anti-tank guns, we're going to need a decent more. We still... How long until we've fulfilled our quota here? Almost a year. So we might need to... I don't really want to throw an awful lot more into that. I think I'll just let it run because we still got some. We've still got some production efficiency to catch up. So I really do want to start building more planes. And yes, we are actually short on rubber as well. So we might need to. Who are we currently trading with rubber for? British Malaya. We might need to trade -6 rubber. So let's trade 2 factories, and then we get the rubber situation sorted. Okay, and we have finished the Katyusha. Oh, nice. So I can't go here yet because that would burn the end of year penalty. So I need to wait for those to finish. Where can I make myself useful in the meantime? We could start research on the T1940 medium, but I would like to get the tank designer, and unfortunately it does look like I am going to need to have a because after securing Leningrad we are going to go down the PCDI powers and towards here, which means that's not going to happen anytime soon. Which means we might as well. We are waiting for. We can do some artillery improvements, I guess, or we could start the logistics company. Yeah, that's also not a terrible idea. Let's do the logistics. Takes a while to do, so let's get that done. And we've got some aircraft things that we need as well. And I want the aircraft designer, but I think I need to do the conscription law first and potentially get off a free trade. And switch to export focus. Okay, this is unfortunate. The Japanese have provoked us at our own border. Oh, this is the incident at the, what's it called? The lake something. Lake Kazan, yes. So our work party was taken under fire by the Japanese. Well, that's unfortunate. That means we probably have to reorganize our troops here a little bit. So first of all, Asian theater, you people need to stop exercising immediately because we are potentially facing a problem. And Zakharov here is going to get the defensive doctrine. And we will probably need to reinforce the direct borders. So, we're currently on. Okay, so we're currently on on area defense orders. So what I'm thinking of doing is giving these guys their own, yeah, they can stay and defend Khabarovsk, and this division can go and defend Vladivostok, and then I want to probably have maybe like 4 divisions defending here. Can I not do that? There we go. 4 divisions here, and then all the rest of you, so everybody else who is not involved in this, who is not having an order right now, you are going to get a front line along the lines here. We are going to be terribly understaffed, but just to make sure we are holding, we've got some divisions along the lines here, and to check, yeah, to keep the Japanese in check in case they get any funny ideas. So if they were trying to assault us across the river line here, and yeah, they are definitely redistributing their forces here, then we do want to have some in the way. Secure Leningrad is complete, so that means, yeah, the border provocation is running. So in 22 days they can escalate the conflict if they so desire. And we are, now that Secure Leningrad is done, not going to go for the Bessarabia claim just yet, but we are going to found the PCDI because I would like to get to the T-34 and get that production going. But yeah, new problems. We will see how Finland reacts, and if they give in to our demands. Otherwise, we have the troops in place now. And yes, they have how's the supply situation here? Yeah, even with fully motorized supply distribution in the center here, there's not an awful lot going on. These divisions don't have to attack, so that's okay. How is my Air Force doing? Okay, so these two divisions, these 2 air groups, the range is abysmal on these, but they're prototypes, that's fine. So they can, once the conflict starts, they can run air superiority and close air support across here. And we will need, once the air research is done, we will need longer range aircraft, and we need to start getting serious about fighter production, because I think Germany has a potential adversary. Right now we're friends, but who knows how long that's lasting. Has somewhere between 2,000 and 3,600 fighters. Compare that to our... where can I actually see that? Can I see that about myself? Air overview, we have... what's it, like 500 and a cookie. So we are way behind in terms of air wings, and that needs to change. We need to get these done, so that they at least stand a bit of a chance. So we will try to get both, we'll try to go first with fighters and a bit of close air support, but mostly fighters, to negate any German aerial superiority. That's be our primary focus, and then we will try to get more powerful interceptors as well, to see if we can do something with a bit more range. But yeah, that's going to be all coming in the next episode. The war is definitely heating up. The world tension is at 100%. Japan is cooking up things, and yeah, the Soviet Union, as always, has too many things on their hands.